Welcome back to another Biddy and Geezer video. I'm the Geez, and we're here today to talk about limoncello, which we discovered on an NCL Western Mediterranean cruise back in 2017. We spent, a couple days in Rome, and we saw all the most popular sites. And of course, when I went to Sicily, I took the cannoli and left the gun. But we were having dinner one night on an outdoor cafe, and our server started to talk to us about, some historical sites, and he said, "Look across the street there at that park." He goes, "This is where Julius Caesar was killed." I'm like, "Whoa, wait, what?" "Yeah, this is the Roman Senate where Julius Caesar was killed in 44 BC, man. The Ides of March." Oh, that's interesting, but we're not really here to talk about that. We took a day trip to the Amalfi Coast, and we went to Sorrento. And this is where we discovered limoncello when we were going through the alleyways and all the different places where they make it. The Amalfi Coast, just gorgeous. It was outstanding. It was gorgeous, and we loved it there. And on our day trip is when we started going in and sampling limoncello for the first time. This is actually the store where we bought it and fell in love with it. Orangecello, limoncello, it's all great. And we discovered later how simple it is to actually make. There's really only 3 ingredients that are needed. You have your Everclear, which is what I choose to use, any high potent clear liquor, lemons, and then a simple syrup, sugar or water or whatever. And so you just take the lemons and you shave them. You get I use, anyway, there's different things, but I use the peeler. And you just peel very thinly the lemon without getting any of the white, just the yellow, because the white is a little bit bitter. So you try to keep it to a minimum. That's almost perfect right there. Then you repeat that about 6,894 times, and then you'll have enough peelings to make limoncello. And once you have all your peelings, you put them in the jar, and then you pour in your grain alcohol. And then you kind of mix them up a little bit too, just to make sure they get fully coated. Then you cover it up, put the top back on. I stick it back up on the shelf, and then I cover it. Just keep it in a cool, dark place. So once you've done that, and once it sits for a few days, and we'll explain that, you'll see the yellow and the lemon oil on top. That's when you know it's ready. Also, the peelings become very pale, almost white, and they become very brittle, like a chip. And that's, of course, there's nothing left. There's no flavor left in it. So now let's go on to the actual making of the limoncello. All right. So what we're going to do now, we've already done all the prep work with the limoncello. We shaved the rinds. You've seen that in a video, nice and thin, no white into them. They've sat for now a little bit over 2 weeks. Every video is different. This is one of the main things that was a challenge with making this. Is every video I watched was different. So ours will try to be not as different, but okay. So anybody says anywhere from 3 days to 3 months, So, but at the same time, a lot of the similarities were that when the rinds were basically white and brittle, and the grain had that beautiful lemon color, like morning pea. We are disgraceful. That it was done, and the higher the level of the alcohol, the quicker that process takes place. So we use 151 grain, and so I'm telling you, I can't imagine it being any more lemony at this point. And we waited just 2 weeks. Exactly 2 weeks was yesterday. So we would have done it last night, but we partied too much.
All right, let's go.
In order to strain out the particles in the raw limoncello mixture, I used comb cheesecloth, and I doubled up on it as recommended by also a lot of videos that I saw. And then I took that and I put it on the pitcher. All right, so here we go. First thing we need to do is strain it out. So take it off. Oh boy, that is lemony, man. And that's in every video too. People always tell you about how lemony it is. So what I'm going to first do is I'm probably going to go ahead and just pull out these lemon rinds. And we've seen how that works. I also have some video of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to strain them again just to make sure we get all
and
the good...
save these for your garbage disposal, because boy, it smells so good.
And as you can probably see, they're white, and they're very brittle. They
What
snap.
happens if you eat them? Can you?
I'll dial 911 and wait to see what happens to you. So, don't know. All right, so now I've taken most of the rind out, and I'm going to pour it into this little pitcher here. It's not big enough, so we're going to have to do this multiple times. I won't bore you with every time. We'll just wait till we have the finished product. And it's going to take some time because one of the things I did read was people like to double up on their cheesecloth. And I thought that was a good idea. Get as many of the little particles out as possible. But this takes a few minutes, so we will either go with time lapse or we will just cut to the final product. But here, this is all you basically do. And we'll do it slowly soon.
It doesn't overflow. Oh, it's going through pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Keep going. I don't know how far you want to go up to the top.
Within reason, I guess. Okay, I guess I can stop there. And yeah, that actually went through pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's nothing really there.
Okay, so let me see what oh yeah. So we'll take this off.
By the way, all that's a rubber band to hold that.
You can find these at most any office of, okay, I'll show you.
Right?
All right, look at that. That is what it's all about, people, right there. Now this is still 151 or roughly 150 proof, so we definitely are cutting this in half to make it around 70 or so. So I'm going to pour that in here for the time being. Oops. Crazy.
Well, we used how many lemons? There were a lot of lemons, and after doing the rind, Michael juiced them all. So we had all this fresh lemon juice as well.
See here. Show what we got in the freezer.
Yeah.
Put it in the freezer.
Oh, in the freezer, right. We left it in the freezer. Here's all the lemon juice. We had quite a bit of this lemon juice that we put in mason jars.
4 or 5 of them.
We gave some to friends. I used some to clean. It's really good to clean the toilet with. Let's save that lemon juice.
And you can see there's not much, but I don't want to spill it, but there's quite a
A
few
little bit, not much.
stuff in there. So
I mean, just taking it out like this took out a lot of it. So
and there's still some more goodness in there. So we're going to go back to that here in a second. I mean, the color of this, I don't know if you can see how well we can see this, but
watching.
I'm watching. But I'm watching still. That is beautiful. I mean, it is the nectar of the Italian gods. That's my people! Italia! Italia!
This was all inspired, by the way, by our trip to, I'm sure you say Limoncello, Sorrento, back in 2017. We went in September of 2017. Great trip.
All right.
Walking the town of Sorrento, doing shots of limoncello.
We did. All right, so I'm going to put the rest of this out.
And now he's going to squeeze. All right, I think that's good. Want me to wash that?
Yeah, go ahead.
While you're doing that.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some of these. I'm going to take these a little bit at a time, put them in the cheesecloth, and just give it a little squeeze. See if I get. Oh, look at that. That's the good stuff. That is about as lemony and yellow as you can get, and that is perfect. That's why I'm saying I don't see why you need to do it for a month or 2 months or 3 months. 2 weeks, man. This is 2 weeks. Okay, so the next step here is the sugar water. This is it. It is, the first time I did this, it was 2 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar, 1 to 1. And it was a little bit too sweet, so I cut it back to about 1.5 cups per 2. And that was perfect. This time around, I went 3 cups of water to 2 cups of sugar, and it wasn't enough. The water was not sweet enough, so I kind of just added another cup of sugar, and that brought it back to it's got to be sickeningly sweet at this stage, because you're going to mix it with that potent liquor, and it's going to cut it in half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the limoncello back into this jar so you can see it, and then we're going to pour the sugar water in and watch it. It's gonna be great. Okay, this is it. Keep your eye on that beautiful yellow. Just stir it up. Just make sure we got all of our sugar in there. This is gonna make it sticky. All right, this is it. This is when it becomes
All right, limoncello, here it comes.
limoncello. If I don't drop it. Look at that.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
There's the magic.
All right, I'm gonna stop there to check it to make sure that I'm, because it's too sweet. I gotta add more alcohol. That would be terrible. All right. Oh, I need to pour the rest of it in. Okay, it's very strong.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, look at that.
that's delicious though.
That is your limoncello.
That's really good. That was really delicious.
Strong though, huh? Now here's the other thing you will hear. They say after you've done this, you should let it sit again for like another week or so.
No.
That's actually what a lot of people say. The longer you let it sit, the more it mellows. But a lot of other people say just go right ahead and start drinking. Just
By the way,
chill.
we made this already. This is the second time around, which was awesome.
Which was awesome, which is why we're here today. Because if it sucked, you would have never known we tried
There's
this.
some in the freezer right now. This was with cream, by the way.
That's the cream version.
We
We
didn't
didn't do cream this time. We just did straight up limoncello. Okay, the only difference between
Where's the other one? In the freezer.
that's the one we made last week.
Yeah.
The only difference between regular limoncello and creme de la limoncello, whatever you want to call it, is you instead of use water, you use milk. And I used 2% milk, and it was very thick and creamy. It's heavy. It's like a dessert.
It was more of a dessert liquor, yeah.
But it's
after having dinner.
Freaking delicious too. All right, so there it is. That's basically it. The only thing left to do now is bottle it. So that's what's coming up next.
Yeah.
Here we go. And you don't want to fill it to the top because if you want to put it in the freezer and it may do some expanding. It won't freeze though. This certainly won't freeze. This alcohol content, the math on this is roughly 50%. Okay, so that's about right about there. So just do the math. 150 proof, cut in half. It's going to be about 75 or 70-some% proof. So that's strong. You got to figure your regular whiskey vodka is 80 proof. This is going to be somewhere in the 70 proof range. But this is basically how it's done. This is our first bottle. Like I said, you want to leave a little room for when you put it in the freezer for expansion, even though it won't freeze solid. Clean it off. Take it like that. Top on there. Click it down. Shake it up. And there's our bottle of limoncello, our Christmas presents for everybody this year. There it is. It's just perfect.
It's just
Perfect. And that's basically, you're making a limoncello.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.